Hello everybody, Dave here for next episode of Dave Gets Wood. Now you may have noticed that there's not been a lot of episodes going out recently. Partly I haven't had the time to edit the videos, but also I've basically been waiting 3 weeks, for some decent weather to be able to take the table outside. And I'm having a beer. It's really gassy. I've earned it today. So been waiting for a decent weather day, but I haven't got anything else planned to be able to get the table outside, and I've managed to do that today. So the following videos are going to be me attacking the table, which has gone quite well, really. But what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to play it all in fast forward, because I don't talk while I'm doing it, with me being outside. It's it's one thing talking to myself in my apartment, doing it outside. It might look a bit fucking weird. But yeah, and also it took a long time to do what I've done today. So without wasting any more time, let's crack on. Everybody, right, update for you. I don't know how many videos or uploads those videos would have taken, but you will have seen on there that we basically did as much as we could on the underside of the table. I think it was probably, I didn't count how many times I applied the Nitromors. It definitely works better than the previous stuff I'd used on the top, but I'll get onto that in a moment. But I mean, ideally I could have done with some shade, because the Nitromors was drying quite quickly, which meant I was having to apply quite a lot. I managed to give it a sanding with 150 grit and then 400 grit, I think. So give it a nice sanding, give it a clean up, although it still needs another clean. But to be fair, on the underside it worked quite well. I do think it needs another application or two, but I basically got to the point where I only had one more piece of wire wool left, and the wire wool wasn't really working as well as I wanted it to, and because I had already previously stripped the top side of the table, I always intended on doing another application on the top, so that's what I wanted to do. So I basically cut short the underside, knowing I may need to apply another one to it, and went for the coat on the top side, fully expecting there literally be nothing to take off, considering how much furniture stripper I had previously used on the top. I mean, I can't remember exactly how much it was, but I know it was a fucking lot, and yes, it was a lot. But I genuinely didn't think there'd be anything to take off, but with the Nitromors I thought I would apply it and we'll see. Turns out the Nitromors is a hell of a lot better than I fucking realised, because it clearly showed there's still a shitload of varnish on the top, which, I'll be honest, pissed me off big time. Because it's been a very energy sapping day, and yeah, it pissed me off because I was tired and I wasn't expecting it, and I know I've already spent a lot of time stripping the top, and yeah, it basically wiped me out. And so yeah, it really did piss me off. I'm trying to be positive about it, because at least now I know that yeah, the other stuff is definitely shit, and there's still more finish on the table. And to be honest, when I actually moved the table back inside, it was obvious that the underside was so much cleaner than the top side. There was no if buts or maybes about it. It's like night and day. So I got to the point where unfortunately I ran out of wire wool, because that clogged up cleaning the top side, even though I scraped the tabletop as well. I mean, that's the thing, I applied the Nitromors, I scraped it off and got a lot off, and then applied more Nitromors, and then still ended up with a clogged fucking wire wool. That just, yeah, shows how shit the other stuff was. But I ran out of wire wool, I ran out of Nitromors, there was no more I could do, so I got to a point where it was, I mean, I was done anyway, to be fair. I was exhausted and my back is killing me, but I got to a point where I just had to stop. So the situation with it is that I'm stuck now until I can get some more Nitromors and some more wire wool, which I can't do at the moment because unfortunately the exhaust pipe broke on my car and I need to get that sorted out, and that's gonna cost anywhere between one number and another, and it either is going to leave me with a bit of money or hardly any money to last me just over a week, so I've got to be sensible about it really. But I am in the situation now where the table is downstairs, or the tabletop is downstairs. The table that I got for free, the little one that I just said I was going to use as a work table outside, that's now in the car, so it's down there. So next time I've got the time to attack it, I haven't got to fuck about getting anything from upstairs to downstairs. Because that's one thing that I was hoping to pre-do a day or two before, but with the exhaust pipe breaking I've not been able to do that, because I've had to go around places getting quotes and I didn't want to have the table in the back of the car. But anyway, what else is there? I still haven't finished the thing I'm making for my nephew, for Arthur, but we'll get there. With the weather having been as shit as it was for 3 weeks, basically it put me on hold because everything I need to do involved making a mess, and I didn't want to do that in my living room. In my little hallway, maybe if it's a little bit of mess, but not the amount of mess that I was going to need, you having used the chemicals. Yeah, I mean the bit of mess I made outside definitely showed that doing it inside was not an option really, although it was an option and I was preparing to do that, because I got fed up of waiting, to be honest. 3 weeks of doing nothing, and I got fed up of waiting, so I was prepping to do it in my living room, but yeah, I'm glad I didn't now. Now one downside, flip to a positive, is that having stripped the underside of the table, it has really shown what the condition is of the table, and to be honest, someone has done a repair on it and I have no idea what the fuck they've used. It looks like some kind of it looks like, I was going to say polyfill, it's not, it's more like a silicon sealant, and the thing is there's basically there's a bit right in the middle of the table about so long, and at its maximum width it's probably a centimetre and a half, so you can't miss it, but with all the varnish on it you couldn't see it, and it goes under where a piece of wood goes across the middle of the table. So somebody has definitely had all the bits off the table and tried to do a repair on it, but fuck knows what they've used. Now that's not the only one. There's a couple of other areas where it looks like they've used some kind of sealant again, and yeah, it don't look good. I mean, one thing I will say is that with the long bit that I found, the Nitromors has definitely affected that, the quality of that, so there's a good chance that I may have to actually pick all that out or Dremel it all out, but that's something I can do inside. Obviously one of the things of stripping the table was that we'd find out exactly what the condition is of the table, and also once we get it back up here I can do a test fit of all the pieces of wood and the legs before I apply any varnish to anything, because that's the other thing. The temptation has been there to apply varnish to the legs or the other bits of wood and get them done, but my concern has always been that if I do that and then when it comes to mocking it up, I have to drill a new hole or I have to cut something or carve something, I'm then going to have to redo the piece of wood, so I'd rather not. I'd rather put it together, find out what the issues are, deal with any issues that there are, so that when it comes to having applied the finish, it's a finished finish. So yeah, it's been quite frustrating in that respect, but at least now the underside of the table is stripped, so once I've dealt with the top side and got that finished stripping, then we can get it back up here and I can start dealing with the repair side of things. So yeah, so I'm absolutely knackered, my back is killing me, I'm starving. I haven't had anything to eat today, which isn't clever, but I went on a mission and I went with it. I've done way too much. I'm going to suffer for it big time, so I don't think I'm going to be doing anything with the table within the next 2 days for certain. And yeah, I'm fucking knackered, so I'm going to go and have a shower, get cleaned up, get something to eat, drink some beer and probably fall asleep. Alright, have a good one. We'll see you on the next one. See you later.